Hey, my name is Badass Banny. Welcome to my channel. If you're an ace, AMAC, and sex human trafficking survivor, you're in the right place. It won't cost you a penny to like and subscribe and to share worldwide. And please leave a comment down below on the video. Today is storytelling. Um, so I have many sexual harassment stories and some on the job. And let's see, I'm just picking one. Because sometimes, when we tell these stories, it brings us back to that moment or, that time. And emotionally, it takes a lot. I may leave things out. I don't know why, but sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do. Um, I did write down some things. I was, I used to ref soccer and play it and coach it all in one day. I love the game. It's great. It's an intelligent game, and it kept me out of trouble. I think that was one good thing my mother did for me. I'm grateful for. Kept me busy. When I was 16, I was 15, and I ran away from home. And around that time, I was playing soccer, and I was repping it, and I had, there was a young Mexican man. He probably was in his 20s, maybe late 20s, early 30s. And he had a son. And I remember running by him, and I got a whistle, and I'm running, and I'm repping the game, and he pinches my butt. I had to stop the game, talk to him privately, and still wasn't taken seriously because soccer back then was a men's game. And in early, it was like 60 years ago, so it's just like here in America, and it's ridiculous. So I just remember when I ran away from home, I went to his house. Maybe, I don't know why. And no one knew where I was, and I think my mom and I had gotten into it. One time she had stood over me and had a newspaper, and I was in the kitchen, and I didn't know that standing over me at the time was a trigger. And so she was hitting me like that, and I went like that and pushed her back, and she fell. And I didn't realize how strong I was back then like that. And then she got up and just started punching me. And then my little brother comes in. And then my mom says she's going to call the cops. And I was taking birth control at that time because of hormones. I was having problems. I was an athlete, and so I wasn't having periods and all that. And so you had, back in those days, you had to go with your parent to see the doctor. You don't have as rights as you do today, as many rights. And so mom controlled everything, and I didn't know what was going on with my body, why I wasn't having menses, and why I had to take birth control. And when I did, it felt like my blood was rushing through my body. And I remember my mom punching me, and and I grabbed her by her hands like this, and my little brother comes in, and I let go of her, and then I flipped the kitchen table. And then she calls the cops, and I don't know, that was ridiculous. She thought I was doing cocaine. I've never done cocaine in my whole life. I was an athlete. I smoked some pot and drank, when there was, barely anything around parties. I didn't really go, I didn't hang out with people in high school and party like that. One time I tried going to a party, and it was in Chapman Town, And one of the gals looks at me, she's like, you don't want to go in there. It's like nothing really happening. And I went, oh, okay, you know. But I think she was a little snobby, a little, you know, uppity, something. I don't know. And so I didn't go to that one. I went to a different one. It was like a Halloween one, and people were high and doing stupid other shit. I didn't do coke or meth or any of that stuff, whatever they had back in the 80s. And then, but, you know, I'll smoke a joint, but drink a little beer. So no, I didn't, or acid, I didn't do that. I've been to parties where a friend thought they were an egg or something, and then one time, you know, crying over a boyfriend for hours and hours and hours. And I did too. Back then I was 16 and people thought I was like 40, you know. Older men were hitting on me and offering me coke. And they had kids downstairs in their house. I've been hit on, flirted with women too, both men and women my whole life. But this, you know, that I don't know why I ran away to that guy's house. And he wanted to have, you know, going back to the guy, you know, the coach. And we got naked in his bed. He wanted to have relations, sex. And I'm like, no. I don't know. It was a hard time. You know, who wants to go back being a teenager? My God, who wants to do that? And then on top of it all, I'm like, God, really? Transgender? I have to take hormones and like I'm 15 again? You know, and after sometimes you take it, it calms you down, or, you know. But I feel like an old bear now. Kind of, it's just something that calmed me down, and I needed it. My body needed it. So, you know, I'm a 46-year survivor of suicidal ideation, and so I went to Planned Parenthood, and a woman believed me. I said, I am not going to make it. If something doesn't, you know, I need to take some hormones. If I don't believe in gender dysphoria and that this is a real thing, I'm not going to be here. And so I started some hormones, and all that it went away. It was just gone. It was a feeling, the it feeling is all I could tell you, and I've had it since I was 2. And so yeah, sexual harassment at 16. And then I go and run away and go to his place. That's just, you know, AMAC kid. And that kidnapping and rape. I just was acting out and lost interest in everything. I just lost interest in, I wanted to be a veterinarian and had plans and goals, and after the kidnapping and rape as a teen, that all just, you know. And then I met a man at just turned 18 and was going to a community college, and I explained that story. I went right into it, you know, it's just, and I'm alone and single now since high school. I like it. I love myself. I like what I see in the mirror. I'm like, wow, I look good. You know? I mean, not in a conceited way, you know, not in a bad way, but I don't go out, you know, I'm doing okay, you know? From someone who had low self-esteem as a teen and child, and now I'm singing in a choir and doing all these things. And I feel happiness sometimes too. I want to let you all know that. So hold on to that, because I fought hard for happiness. And I hope that someday soon that I have a lifelong companion that shows up, because I worked hard for it, to be loved the way I deserve to be loved, and I'm doing that right now. For myself, you know, loving myself, that's where it's at, self-love. And if someone would have told me, I knew in my meditations I was told that I'm supposed to love people. And I'm like, God, how am I supposed to love people and live off that? How am I going to live? How am I going to make a living? And I realized through unconditional love through my son, learning that, and through another woman I met and fell in love with and learned unconditional love too. Yeah. So this is one of my stories. I'd love to hear from y'all. What are you going to do? Take care of yourself.